Hi guys, welcome to the second episode of Life of Dev. And as I promised कि मैं यहाँ पे काफी सारे inspirational लोगों को लाने वाला हूँ. So today also we have someone who is very special, and I don't think I have to introduce him. But actually, there are some stories which are not yours, but still you want them to present to everyone, right? So that's been the intention of this program, and I'm super happy to talk about a similar guy whose story can inspire, I guess, everyone around the world. Whether you are a developer or not, it doesn't matter. But his story is something which I personally felt that this should go to every and each and every house. So that's the intention. And today we have that guest, and his name is Santosh Yadav. He's a Google developer expert in Angular as well. That's how I know him. And he is really an inspiration for us. So I would like to invite him on this show. So let's bring him here. So one second. And we have Santosh. Hi, Santosh.
Hey Pawan,
Thanks
hi.
for
Thanks.
joining, and really happy to have you. So, yes, please share some information about yourself.
First of all, thanks for the invite, Pawan. So I was really excited to be here and talk about this. Just to introduce, my name is Santosh Yadav, and I'm one of the Google developer expert, as Pawan already informed. I'm in Angular technology, and I'm also first GitHub star from India, and keep contributing to Angular. And there are a few open source projects which I have. And apart from that, I'm a consultant. I do consulting for different organizations. That's what I do.
So, okay, I don't want to waste anyone's time. So, I will definitely jump to your story. So, I read one of your article, which was, I guess, published on dev.to, right? And
Yeah.
that shares your story, that how you started with a slum, and then now you are, having an apartment somewhere. So, I know like this is a very long story, but in short, can you like take us in the flashback and tell us more about it, that how it all started, and what struggles you had to go through.
So when I started, when I was a kid, so I've actually grown in a slum. So uh,
Yeah.
once I completed my schools, I was like not sure what to do. As I think God has written everyone's destiny, right? So someone came to
Yeah.
my house, and he just spoke to my dad and said, "Look, there is something called as Polytechnic. Why don't you just try there?" Because my grades were actually really bad, so I couldn't get any the like I couldn't get any good college. I wanted to do science, but I couldn't get it. So he said, "Let's try for Polytechnic," and that's how it
Yeah.
started. So I went for I went to that college, and they offered me few streams. They said, okay, there is computer technology, there is mechanical, and once I had computer, I was like, okay, let's do that. So I was even not sure what I have to read. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
computer, right? So let's take it. And when I came outside, my dad said, why not mechanical? I was like, no, not sure. I was not sure. I just heard computer, and that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that's once I went to Polytechnic, and that's where I started, right? So that's I realized that, okay, my family is actually struggling with
Mhm.
some financial losses. My
Mhm.
dad was not good actually
Mhm.
managing his own money, so eventually he lost his job as well. So I decided to drop.
Mhm.
So my dad said, okay, once you are done with Polytechnic, you can actually just start working somewhere. I was like, I'm just 18-year old. Why should I work? So of course, I was not aware that we are going through this financial difficulties.
Mhm.
So I wanted to study because I had made my mind when I was in final year of Polytechnic. I made my mind that I want to go ahead and study BE. I want to complete my Bachelor of Engineering, and
Mhm.
then one day, actually, the day my father said to me, right, so I know I have to stop my studies. So I remember I couldn't sleep. I cried the entire night, and somehow my mom, she knew that I was crying. So she spoke to my dad next day, and she said, "Do whatever you want to do. My son is going to study." So I was like, so my dad, of course, right, once your mom says something, you're
Mhm.
actually your father has no other option to just to say
Typical
yes.
family things, right?
Yeah. So he said, yes, okay, I'll do that. So I got into BE, and then uh, till I could finish, like I was in, I think, second last year. So I got admission into second year because of this polytechnic thing. So I had just 3 years program rather than 4 years program. So I completed my first year, then second year, till again, right? So financial difficulties again struck, and I decided to drop this time because I was aware, I was mature. So I said, okay, let's stop the studies. And so I was just speaking to my friend, and he actually mentioned, why you want to stop study. So I was like, look, this is something which is happening in my family, and I. So he said, don't worry about it. I will pay your fee. I remember I wanted. We were actually just going towards the station to catch our train to home, and I was just watching his face. I mean, I just know this guy from 2 years, and he's actually ready to do everything for me. So of course, he is a good friend now, and we are he's close to my family. So he's actually more than family for to me as well. And but my dad said, okay, we have actually managed to arrange the money, so don't not an issue. You can complete your finals. Completed my B, and once I completed my B, it was 2008. I am sure every technical person knows 2008. So it was
Yeah.
like entire market crashed. We don't have any jobs. Even the people
Mm.
who had jobs, they lost it. So of
Yeah.
course there was no chance I could get a job. So
Similar
somehow,
situation like what happened in 2020. Like not
yeah,
exactly, but yeah,
but
like very
yes,
much similar, right?
yeah. So yeah, that's then I struggled for a few months. Then eventually I got a small job. It was like 2 BHK house, and he has there were four developers. And we used to actually sit inside a room. And I remember in like summer in Mumbai, we had a fan. Even there was no AC, so we had a fan. We used to
Yeah.
actually on that fan, and we used to sit in 1 BHK room. So that's how it
Mhm.
started. I mean, I was getting paid 5,000 rupees. I was happy that I'm actually doing what I wanted to do. I was able to code, not that much, but yes, little bit. So that's how I came into tech.
Awesome, awesome. So, was it what was your experience with Polytechnic? Why I'm asking this because when I was in school and when I
Mhm.
just passed my 12th standard, many people recommended me Polytechnic. Even after 10th, also some
Mm,
people
yeah,
said that you should go for it. So, how
yeah.
was your experience? And because a lot of people might be like watching here, they might wanna try Polytechnic, or they might have some
Mm.
brothers or sister who are looking for it. So tell us more about Polytechnic, why you left it as well.
Actually, after I completed my 10th, as I said, I mean, I couldn't get admission anywhere in good college. So I joined this polytechnic, and I would say that time polytechnics were not that much famous, right? So
Mm,
a lot of people, a lot of students actually used to do 10th of
mm,
12th, I mean, science or whatever stream they are interested in. Or I think BSc was actually more famous than polytechnic that days, in those days. It was
yeah,
back in 2002. So
yeah.
not many students actually used to get uh, actually admission into polytechnic, but I would say it's good. I mean, as if you have already made your mind that you want to go towards some specific technology, right? Let it be
Mm,
mechanical or so. Why to waste 2 years, right? You can actually
yeah.
complete 3 years polytechnic program, and then you can skip
Mm,
1 year for your bachelor's,
mm,
and you can just directly go to second year. So that was something I would say I was not aware of polytechnics. As I
yeah.
said, I mean, I was even not aware what to do.
Mm,
But I luckily got into that, and it actually helped me because that's where I made my mind that I want what I want to do, right? What I want to become. So I really fell in love with programming when I started learning Java
mm,
because I remember we the first language which was introduced was C.
mm,
So the professor was actually not able to actually teach us C properly. So it was I started hating the programming when he used to teach us C. But our Java when we were in final year, so our Java professor, right, he was really great. I
mm,
mean, I remember I had a KT in C plus plus,
yeah, yeah.
and I just cleared my KT without reading C++. So what I did is whatever Java concepts he actually taught us, I just went to the practicals. It was practical exam and then completed it. So that's how it happened. So I fell in love with Java, and then eventually I ended up doing C sharp in bachelor's. So I started doing some C sharp programming, and that's how it started. So I started as a .NET developer.
Yeah. .NET. Yeah, C
Yeah.
Sharp is amazing language to be honest. Like I always loved C Sharp more than Java, and it started like from college itself. I was doing Android app development, but that
Yeah.
required Java at that time. But my interest was in C Sharp because of the things which I could do in C Sharp, which were like a little bit not good in Java at that time. So yeah, I know like, but I never loved .NET that much. That's another story. But good to know someone who is actually done good work in .NET as well. So so now you are in a startup and you are earning 5,000 per month. That's
Yeah.
about like 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
So then how all the transformation happened? Like how you dealt with that time and what how you upgraded yourself with the time?
Okay, so when I was working there, I was, of course, I was frustrated as well, because I couldn't do any lot of
Mm.
programming. So it was
Yeah.
like he used to actually send me some me on actually some for some presentation. So that's what I used to do, and the of course I would say the CEO who was actually handling that company, he was not a good guy. So he actually was taking the advantage that it's 2008 and there are no jobs. So he used to take advantage of developers because they cannot find a new job. So I was really frustrated, and by like within a year I realized that okay, I don't have any future here. So
Mm.
one day when he asked me to actually, I mean, there was no work, but he asked me to actually sit till 8 p.m. And from the day when I had this rule that no more than 8 hours work, of course,
Yeah.
Indian companies are never used to that. But from the day when I joined the job, I was like, I had my this in my mind that I will never work for eight more than 8 hours. That's what I used to do. So I used to come at 9, leave at
Mm.
6, right, including one hour lunch break, which you have. So he never liked me. He never liked me that I used to work only for 8 hours and then leave. So he asked me one day, and unintentionally he asked me to sit for more than 8 hours. And next day I resigned. I said, anyways, I don't have any future here, so let's
Good.
resign. And he accepted it, and I was
Yeah.
jobless for a month.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, so because I couldn't find any job, right? I mean, it was 2009, and I tried to get some jobs, but I couldn't. It was really worst phase, I would say. I mean, I could see a lot of developers who were working
Mm.
or earning good money. They were jobless, and
Mm.
even one of the developer who joined in that organization, he used to work with some TCS or Infosys. I'm not sure where, but he used to like earn 25K per month, 25K per month, and he was working on 10K there. I mean, he was ready to take a cutoff, but he wanted some work.
Mm.
So that was the situation. He was actually just exploiting those
Mm.
situations. So I left that, and after a month, I got one opportunity to like this MSEB, right?
Yeah.
Electrical board. Every state has one. So
Mm.
here in Mumbai, Navi
Mm.
Mumbai, so they had one contract
Mhm.
opportunity. So it was
Mhm.
like 3 to 4 months. They said it won't be like more than 5 months. So I said, anyways, I don't have any job, and what I have to do. So he said you have to actually handle some Oracle system, and in
Mm.
case there is some issues, you have might have to actually fix those. So I was like, okay, I know queries, so I can do it. So I joined
Mm.
that. I worked there like for 4 months, and by
Mm.
the time my contract got ended, I got a job. So finally I got a job at one
Mm.
of, again, some contract job at Capita India. I think
Mm.
many people know about Capita India. So it's a big
Mm.
UK based organization. So
I have heard
there,
about it.
yeah.
Mm.
So I started working there, and there I actually working there. So when I started, my manager was really good. So uh, again, so it was like one or two people team,
Mm.
but they had not enough work. So they said, okay, we have some. There was an actually this what you can say, separate department for this invoices. So they had
Mm.
internal, I mean, of course, not company wide, but internal. So the department was actually responsible for
Mm.
supports. So it was
Mm.
related to support, everything related to support. So they used to actually acquire devices as well. For example, headphones, your RAMs or servers. So they had a system internally to manage all the invoices. And I started working as a Windows developer. So I used to work on a Windows system which they
Mm.
had built on C Sharp. So I was like,
Oh.
okay, let's do it. But he said we don't have a lot of work, and
Mm.
actually it was the scenario. So after like 2 3 months, I stopped getting work. So I got I was like, so I spoke to my manager and said, look, I don't have anything to do. So he said, why don't you read something, right? I mean,
Hmm.
of course, I don't have to give you work. Just go ahead and do something by your own. And I was like really, I was shocked because that's the first time some manager is saying that just go ahead and improve yourself rather than actually giving me some work which will actually make me fall back, right, or fall
Hmm.
behind. This is what a
Yeah.
lot of managers do. Actually, that's a reality in
Correct.
actually especially in India. But he
Hmm.
was really, I mean, different person. So he said, just go ahead and read. And from next day, I remember. So I used to carry a notebook, and I
Hmm.
used to go to MSDN, so Microsoft's Developer Network, right? So,
Hmm.
and I used to read each and every APIs. So I used to
Oh.
actually take notes. So okay, this is API. This is what it does. For example, file system, right? So I have to work
Yeah.
with file system. What are the different APIs which I have to do? I used to take notes and read everything. So
Yeah.
that's how it started. I got. I mean, of course, I read too much in 6 months that. I was really, I would say, I gained a lot of not experience, but I
Hmm.
think confidence that I can actually work anywhere. So
Yeah. Correct.
I worked there for like 10 months
Hmm.
because again after, there was not much work. So I remember after that job, the next job which I got 100% raise because I just asked for it. So I said,
Hmm.
okay, how much you need? So I was like this much. So they said it's 100%. I said yes, it's 100%. So what I'm already
Sometimes
getting.
you have to ask for it, otherwise you will never get it.
Actually,
That's
yeah,
the
actually,
reality of this tech world.
actually.
And
So
there are a lot
he's
of books on negotiations as well. So my
uh
recommendation is to people who are watching that definitely read some books on negotiations as well. If you really want
yeah.
to have some good salary and if you really want to negotiate with the hiring company. So yeah, go ahead, Santosh.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, I said, that, look, I'm already underpaid. I know because based on my
Yeah,
skill, I should be getting more. And I'm not asking for more, I would say.
yeah.
So they were like, okay, so let's give. I mean, they actually offered me that salary, and
Hmm.
then I've started working for. It was again a contract position for ICICI Bank.
Hmm.
So I worked there for like, again 10 months, and so there was a funny thing. So when I started, like it was 60 people team, and by the
Yeah.
time within 9 months it was 10 people team. So
Hmm.
I was like, okay, and we don't have any much of work, and it was actually the entire tech industry, right? It was actually
Hmm.
we started getting more jobs. It
Hmm.
was 2011, yeah, it was
Yeah.
2011. So we had more jobs.
Hmm.
So I thought, why not to look for another change because I don't have any some enough work here, and I was really angry with my again project manager because he
Hmm.
shouted at me without any reason.
Hmm.
So actually, there was some work which was going on, and I was doing analysis. So he was like, "Why it is taking too much time?" So I was like, "Okay, I'm looking into it. It's not like I'm doing time pass. So because
Yeah.
if I take
Yeah.
some work, I will do it. I
Hmm.
will. I put everything into it. So that's what I do." So he was not convinced, and somehow he started. He actually called the business analyst,
Hmm.
and while on call, so the business analyst, she was actually a former developer, so she
Hmm.
knew about the system. So
Yeah.
she actually mentioned, okay, why don't we just look into this table?
Hmm.
And it was resolved in within 5 minutes. So he said, why? So you are doing time pass. That's what he mentioned. So I was really angry. I was like, okay, let's leave. I mean, this is a toxic workplace to work for.
Yeah.
Because he was recently assigned our project manager. He was not earlier there. The previous manager
Hmm.
was really good, and then I said, okay, let's look for another job, and then I ended up again at another startup. So
Wow.
I started again.
It's been a
When
really, like really so many changes, right?
yeah, so initially because I never had work, right? I mean, I wanted
Hmm.
work, and I wanted a good place to work for, and I couldn't get anything.
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember at that time I was probably flying kites, or I think I was just doing nothing. Or maybe, yeah, I was sitting somewhere in one of the cafes, or browsing something on Orkut, or maybe doing something else. But yeah, I had no idea at that time. Like I didn't even know like what I want from my life. So yeah, man, that's really inspiring. Okay, so I'll We'll ask more about you in just a quick break. After just a quick break, and this will be just 20 seconds break. By the way, guys, I will take all of your questions during the end of this particular conversation. So, and I'll also ask you to invite, like I'll ask you to join as well, and I'll share you the invite link. So maybe some of you can join us live. So, like be ready with your camera and microphone. So that's what I say. And we will be back after this 20 seconds break. And then I'll ask Santosh that how he became Google Developer Expert. So keep watching and we will be back. क्या आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है? इस बात से मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, पर क्या आपके रिज्यूमे में प्रोजेक्ट है? अगर नहीं तो आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें एमटेक वायरल। यहाँ पर आप बहुत सारे कोडिंग ट्यूटोरियल्स देख सकते हैं, काफ़ी सारे ऐप्स के ट्यूटोरियल देख सकते हैं और आप अपना बना सकते हैं प्रोजेक्ट। तो सब्सक्राइब नाउ। क्या आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है? इस बात से मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, पर क्या आपके रिज्यूमे में प्रोजेक्ट है? अगर नहीं तो आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें एमटेक वायरल। यहाँ पर आप बहुत सारे कोडिंग ट्यूटोरियल्स देख सकते हैं, काफ़ी सारे ऐप्स के ट्यूटोरियल देख सकते हैं और आप अपना बना सकते हैं प्रोजेक्ट। तो सब्सक्राइब नाउ। Okay, so we are back, and that was a self promotion, by the way. Anyway, nobody does promotion for us, so I thought like we should do it by ourselves. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's been a really amazing journey. You have worked in so many companies. Unfortunately, I don't have that much experience, but I would like to know more about you. And probably people, as I can see the comments, people want to know more about Angular as well. And maybe you can start this Google Developer Expert thing, like how this happened, and like what were the criterias you had to go through and everything about it.
Yeah. I mean, before 2011, right? So I was not. I have never heard about this word called open source. So when I joined the startup, so there were like really, I would say, amazing people I worked
Yeah.
with. So there was a guy. So his name is Imran, and he's in Canada right now. So uh, he actually, by the time he was leaving the organization around 2014, he said, Santosh, I think you are really good into programming. Why don't you just try doing some open source? I was like, open source, what is that? So he mentioned, right, there are some projects which is available on GitHub and you can just go ahead and contribute to them. I
When
think
was this time?
it was in 2014.
2014. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I will think about it. And for next 2 years, I couldn't do anything because the entire team actually we had like really good team, and eventually a lot of people left, so a lot of responsibility came onto me. So and I ended up actually handling like 32 people team at one point of time, and I couldn't code even. So by 2016, I said, okay, bye bye startup. So I said, no more startup now, and I left startup I came to Pune in 2016, and this is where I actually started writing blog posts. So my first
Okay.
blog post on C Sharp. So I wrote because I actually when I came to Pune, I had a lot of times. I'm not sure from where, but I think the startup culture is actually you have to work
Yeah.
more than few hours.
Mhm.
More than 8 hours is actually really normal, and weekends, of course, sometime days. So that
But
was really normal.
I'll pause you a little bit. Like, what do you think about this? More than 8 hours thing. Still, like this is happening even today, right? Because as of I know, I think even in companies like Amazon, like they work like blindly for I think 12, 14, 15, 16 hours, something like that. That I have seen. People are sleeping in the company itself. I mean,
I've
it
done
can
it.
be a benefit, but sometimes it's not, right? You
Yeah.
have to work anytime. So, what do you think about it? Like, how like should people do it? Because just it's a big company, or probably that company is giving you good money, or they should never do it. What do you think?
No one should do it, I would say. The reason I was doing it because, I
Hmm.
mean, of course, I was wrong. I mean, so I never got the work which I was getting at startup. No one asked me to actually work more than 8 hours, to be frank.
Yeah.
Not even a single manager or not even CEO told me that to work for more than 8 hours. I was doing it, and I was a
Yeah.
fool. And I never did it. I remember the last time I worked for more than 8 hours was 2016. and more than 5 years now, I never work, well, especially for my employer, right? So I never work for more than 8 hours. So
Hmm.
don't do it. I would say have life. I mean, I missed a lot of good memories, I would say. My
Hmm.
daughter was growing up. She was like she's born in 2012, and
Hmm.
I missed a lot of time which I could have spent it with my daughter. But I do
Hmm.
now. So not a. I think I'm just whatever time we missed together. Now I'm just
Yeah,
paying it
yeah, yeah.
again.
Hmm.
So never
So
do
yeah,
this. Yeah.
let's go back to your Google developer expert journey then.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I came back, I'm in Pune. So I started writing blog posts, and
Hmm.
by 2017, so it was 2016, right? So by 2017, I got the opportunity to actually
Hmm.
teach Angular. And
Take
when I
Angular.
started teaching, yeah, yeah. So there was an institute in Pune, and due to
Hmm.
Corona, it is closed right now. So I got in touch with him on Twitter, on LinkedIn. He posted that he is looking for some trainers.
Hmm.
So I got in touch with him. We
Yeah.
started with Angular JS actually,
Hmm.
and by we just completed one batch, and I realized that Angular 4 is already there. So we
Yeah.
started conducting batches for Angular 4, and 2017 was good. Actually, I made good money, and even I worked with Edureka. I'm
Hmm.
sure everyone knows Edureka, so they are really big. So I worked
No,
with Edureka as
I
well.
don't know. Uh,
So,
I don't know.
okay,
Hmm.
they're also into this education
Oh, Azure
field
Rekha,
thing.
you mean, right?
Yeah, Edureka,
Yeah. Okay.
Edureka
Okay.
or
Yeah.
Edureka.
Yeah. I have heard it somewhere for sure. Hmm.
So yeah, so I worked for them, and they used to pay really well. So I was of course struggling financially that time, and
Hmm.
I had a lot of loan. So I ended up earning good money by 20 end of 2017.
Hmm.
But again, I got demotivated because there were two reasons. I was
Hmm.
getting paid for a technology which is free, open source. I don't have to
Hmm.
pay anything. It
Hmm.
means I'm exploiting it because
Yeah.
as a kid I was taught that never takes anything for free, and I was actually doing opposite. Actually,
Correct.
I'm not
Correct.
giving back anything to Angular, but I'm making money out of it. So I
Yeah.
was demotivated, and eventually I couldn't. I think I was giving a lot of time there, so I couldn't actually upgrade myself.
Hmm.
That was another issue. So I started figuring out how to contribute to Angular. And in case, especially in India, I think the education for towards open source is not that much, especially 2 years ago, I would
Yep.
say.
Yep.
So
Even today,
yeah,
it's like there is some number of people which we personally know, so we saw them on Twitter and everywhere.
yeah,
But if you see the majority of developers who are probably working in a service-based company in some of the nicest building, okay,
yeah,
and they don't even care about open source,
yeah,
to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
meanwhile, I started working with Deutsche Bank. So I was like,
Hmm.
my job was stable. So 2018, I started figuring out how to do it, and
Hmm.
also I actually went to the Angular repository, and I found, okay,
Hmm.
the first page, right? So where you can see contributors. I saw that okay, there is no one from India. I mean, which is strange. I mean, we have a lot of millions of developers, and I
Yeah.
decided that I'll be the first. I mean,
Hmm.
frankly, I said, okay, I'll be the first one, but I'm
Hmm.
not sure how to do it. And
Yeah.
then 2018, I just started, started figuring about it. And then I came to know about there are a
Hmm.
few conferences, meetups which happen. Again,
Hmm.
another blocker was there was no meetup for Angular in Pune. So I
Hmm.
was like,
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm.
now what again? And
Yeah.
by 2018, end of the 2018, I came to know about one conference. I will not name it.
Hmm.
So
You can name it. It's fine.
no, 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 I don't. See, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to.
it's okay. It's okay. I'm just
So
kidding.
yeah, I came to know about that conference which was happening in Delhi. I'm sure
Hmm.
you know which conference I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, I know, I know.
So I ended up actually being. I went there. I booked my ticket and I went to that conference. I met a lot of good people from the community,
Hmm.
and I ended up meeting one of the Googler there, Vikram
Yeah,
Subramaniam. So I
yeah.
spoke to him that I want to do it, but I'm not sure how to actually proceed and how to contribute to this community because this is something which I'm trying to figure out from last 1 year. And I came to know
Hmm.
about this conference, and this is the reason I'm here. So he said,
Yeah.
okay, what you can do is you can start writing blog posts, you start creating contents. I was like, okay, I mean, that is something which I can do, but I want to actually contribute. I mean, go ahead and contribute on GitHub. So he was like,
Yeah.
okay,
So,
so
Santosh, one second. I
yeah.
just want to know my viewers that if you want to know how to become a Google developer expert, or if you want to know how someone is becoming, then this is the story which you should listen to. So, yeah, I mean, just focus on what Santosh is saying, and I think already you will get so many answers. Yeah, Santosh,
Yeah.
continue.
So he said, okay, if you really want to contribute to GitHub, what I can tell you is we also need help in improving our docs. And as an Angular developer, as I was already aware, because whenever I used to refer Angular docs, it was not
Mm-hmm.
complete. I would say there were a lot of things which were missing. So I thought of, yes, I think I can do it, because whenever I teach Angular, I
Mm-hmm.
actually come across some blockers which is not available on docs. So
Yeah.
I went home and I started looking into issues on GitHub. I couldn't find any. So I went to the another project. So I
Yeah.
came across a project called NGRX, which I had heard about like a year ago from my friend. That NGRX is a really good project. So I went to that repository and I found one issue which was related to
Mm-hmm.
schematics. So Angular has something called schematics, and
Mm-hmm.
I was learning about it. So it was something I was exploring, but I couldn't work on it. So I went to that particular issue and I said, okay, I want to work on this issue. So okay, it was okay. So he said, okay, the maintainer of the project, Brandon Roberts, he said, okay, you can take it. And I was like, okay. I started working on it, and I did like entire research for a complete day. I remember I couldn't sleep because I wanted to really do it. So
Yeah.
I went to the Angular repository, search for that particular issue
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, and then I found out, okay, this is the API. So there was I would say, a API which is changed. We have actually new API which is available. So I was like, okay, it was easy. So I went to the code base, replaced that API, submitted the PR, and first March 2019, my PR was approved. And
Okay,
actually, that
Santosh, you might have to tell the full form of PR as well, because there might be
I
few people who don't know what is PR. Okay.
Yeah, it's a pull request which you open on GitHub. So in case you want to merge your changes to someone's code base, I mean, which is
Mm.
available on GitHub, so you have to open a PR or pull request. So it was merged and approved. I think it gave me a lot of confidence that I can do it. I mean, I can do PR. And I remember I actually started shouting everywhere, oh, my first PR, my first PR is merged. And I did it for
It's a,
NGRX. Yeah.
it's a different
So
feeling when your first PR gets merged, right?
actually,
Whichever repository it is, doesn't matter. And
doesn't
especially
matter.
if it is a, like, big kind of project which is like
Yeah.
used by maybe probably
Yeah.
thousands of people, then it's a big honor as well.
Yeah.
That, yeah, I have done it.
Yeah, actually, that's what I did. So I started
Awesome.
shouting, "Ah, okay, I did it," and then it gave me a lot of confidence, and I started like going
Yeah.
to each and every repository. I remember I went to Microsoft has few projects,
Mm,
so
mm,
I contributed to Microsoft project. I created to
mm,
Ionic one. I created
mm,
even created to Create React app.
mhm.
So I don't. I mean, actually, I know a little bit about React, and
Yeah.
but I ended up contributing to React. And within 1 month, I realized that I'm doing something wrong. That
Mm,
I'm actually main focus or my main motivation was to contribute to Angular. And if I do
mm,
this, contribute
mm.
everywhere, I won't be able to do it, right?
Yeah.
So and even I won't be able to focus anyways. So I said, okay,
True, true.
let's stop, let's give some time. And
Mm,
meanwhile, I found an issue in Angular repository. So I started contributing to Angular. It
mm,
was like March 18th when I opened my first pull request in Angular repository, and
mm,
it was merged by I think March 27, March 28. It was
mhm.
merged. So it again boosted my confidence. Yes, now I'm actually contributed to Angular. And
Awesome.
I actually remember when I raised my first PR, I went to
Mm.
the this contributor list, and I wanted to find which number I want to, because my focus was that top
Yeah.
100, right? I mean, should be available on
Yeah.
first page. So I said okay, and after in few months, I mean, I was contributing to both NGRX as well as Angular. So I kept contributing. I was not aware of this GD program
Mm.
because that was not motivation anyways. I
Yeah.
really wanted to be there, like top 100 contributors, and really wanted to give back to the community. And I was doing
Mm.
it. So I was feeling like I have accomplished something. So I'm doing it now. And
It was kind of a journey itself, right? Like, maybe
yeah,
it took you good amount of time to, even apply for something like GDE or MVP, or all these things.
yeah. So I was just continuing with it. I mean, I was
Hmm.
enjoying my time, I would say. And meanwhile, this NGConf, which is like biggest conference for Angular, which
Yeah.
happens in
Yeah.
USA. So NGConf was happening, and Brandon Roberts, who is actually the
Hmm.
maintainer of the project, so he actually displayed the list of contributors for NGRX,
Hmm.
and I was on second. I mean, from the list, I was on second number.
Awesome. Awesome.
So
Awesome.
so I was actually it was like I remember it was 1 a.m. in India, and I was
Yeah.
working on the NGRX PR itself. So I was,
Hmm.
if I'm not wrong, I was working on migrating NGRX to Angular 8. So I was
Yeah.
working on it, and I was that's the Twitter feed was like open, and I was going through the feed that what's happening inside ngconf. So
Yeah.
I found one image. I was like, okay, I think I can see my name there, and I just clicked on that image, and I was like, oh, my name is there. So I just again, I remember I cried like in 1 a.m. in the night. I was crying because my name is there, and like ngconf, which is watched by millions of developers across the globe, and my
Yeah.
name is in someone's slides. So it was really again, I'd say, overwhelming moment for me. And
Yeah.
I again started posting it everywhere that okay, I made it to the ngconf. My name was there. My name was there.
Hmm.
So once that is done, I mean, I kept contributing, and around it was June 2019, and I
Hmm.
was again. So I had even actually forgotten about this top 100 contributors, right? So I was
Hmm.
just contributing, and I forgot about it. So one day, actually, I was teaching Angular to a bunch of students, and
Hmm.
I went to the repository, and I was just telling them about okay, how you can actually contribute to Angular, and I
Yeah.
found okay, I'm on like 95 or 85 something. I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I already made it. So
Yeah.
that was again a goosebump moment for me. I was like, oh my god. I mean, this was something which I wanted to do like 1.5 years ago, and I already made it, and I'm not aware of it. So
Yeah.
again, I posted about okay, this is something which I did. I am in top 100 contributors. A lot of people appreciated that. Okay, you are doing it, and you made it in a short span, right? It was six
Yeah.
months, not even 6 months. It was like 5 months.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, I got the opportunity to actually speak at one of the conferences, NG Sri Lanka, which was happening. It was first edition.
Hmm.
So I saw a tweet from Sajitaran, who is
I think it's one
now,
or 2 year back only, right? Like
yeah,
2018 or
2019.
2019, right? Yeah, 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Everything happened in
Exactly.
2019 because I started in
Yeah.
2019. So
Hmm.
he actually posted that he is looking for some speakers, and
Hmm.
I actually sent a DM that okay, I'm interested. I want to actually give a talk on NGRX, and after a week he said okay, you are in, and
Hmm.
you are giving a talk on NGRX. So I was like okay, this is good. And meanwhile,
Yeah.
this was happening, and I got a message on LinkedIn
Yeah.
from Siddhant. I'm sure you know Siddhant
Yeah. Yeah.
Agarwal. So
Yes.
he sent a message that we are looking for some GDs. I was like, what?
Hmm.
What is a GD? So I went to that message, and then I copied GD and searched for it. So I was like, okay, looks like something related to my technology. So I said,
Yeah.
okay, I'll be interested to apply. I was
Hmm.
not sure because it was really short span, right? I mean, I was doing it for 6 months. So
Hmm.
I spoke to few GDs already. So Pankaj Parker and uh,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
so I spoke to Pankaj, and he said it needs some more than six
Hmm.
months of actually active contribution in the community. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe, but as I have chance, let's take it
Yeah.
because Siddhant reached out to me. I said, okay, let's apply.
Hmm.
And eventually, I was shortlisted. I was really shocked. I mean, uh, um, so I was like,
I,
okay,
I don't think
something.
there was anything to be shocked about. You have done like good amount of work already, and even like 5 to 6 months you mentioned, but it's not 5 to 6 months from my point of view. It's long time. But when you prepare for something specific, then also I think people are so impatient these days that they don't want to even spend that much time. Let's say if
Actually,
you are saying 5 to 6 months, then they want the results in 5 to 6 months, which sometimes happens, sometimes does not even happen,
actually.
right? It is not like there is a particular timeline where you have to contribute.
Mhm.
And the good part about open source or all these things is, I guess, it's like it should be by your nature that you want it, like to do something for community. It's not that for a particular tag or for a particular
Yeah, actually.
a particular prize or particular gift, you will do something, but it's like
I,
it should come from inside, right? That I want to do this, and even if I'll get something, it's good. Even if I'm not getting something, then also it's fine. Like who that's not the reason why I'm doing it, right?
actually,
So yeah, it's
yeah,
it's it's actually true.
that's what I told myself, that anyways this was not the motivation. I wanted to do it, and I'm
Yeah.
doing it, I'm loving it, I'm enjoying it. So even if I don't become GD, it doesn't matter, I will continue doing it. And
Yeah.
I remember before actually before I got the nomination, I also started a meetup in Pune. So
Hmm.
I started doing meetups here in Pune, and by the time I started writing as well, so I published few blog posts, I was doing contributions, and huge, I think so NGX team members, team and Wesley Greens, they both
Hmm.
supported me a lot. Even Lars is here, so Lars also supported me a lot. When I was
Hmm.
actually I was new to the community, and these guys are actually who helped me without actually expecting anything. They never
Hmm.
asked me to set, or they were never asked me anything. They were like so much into like, you are doing something good, and I think
Hmm.
you deserve everything, and whenever you need help, just ask us.
Hmm.
So I think I'm grateful to all of them, entire in-depth community, I think in-depth.dev, where I started writing blog posts as well.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got nominated. I went to Sri Lanka, and came back. Then I gave my interview.
Hmm.
In GD, you have two rounds, right? So you have first round, which is community round, where
Yeah.
you get interviewed by one of the community members,
Yes.
and I was interviewed by uh, one of the community member who is a Microsoft employee, Chris
Okay.
Noring, a
Hmm.
really great guy. I mean, in case you just go to his Twitter handle, Chris_Noring, and you will be able to find him.
Yeah.
He keeps talking about multiple technologies, and you can follow him. And he took my interview, and then after that, 2 months,
Hmm.
I think after 4 days, I had second round with program manager. So in GD, you have like program manager for each and every technology, and whoever the program manager is, he will take your interview. So for
Hmm.
me, it was Angular. So I was interviewed by program manager of Angular,
Hmm.
and then after 2 months, I heard from them on my birthday that I became GD. So I was like, again,
Yeah.
so on my birthday, I was crying.
You have cried all the time whenever something great has happened. Khushi
I
ke
mean,
aansu, right?
खुशी की आंसू, I was not expecting, right? I mean,
Yeah.
once you get something which you never expected,
Yeah.
I think that comes automatically.
I can understand. By the way, guys, I just want to give you the a brief of this GD path which just Santosh shared. So basically, what happens is that you have to create a community CV first of all, and you have to reach to someone who is probably a GD or who is probably a part of Google, and by any referral or something, or you can like reach to other GDs as well, and you can share your work, and if they will like, then they can definitely refer you to Google or the GD team. And once then they ask you to prepare a CV which will be more like a community CV, where you will show that what kind of work you have been doing for community, what kind of content you have been creating, where you are speaking in various events. And then when that is approved or that is accepted, then you have to go through two different rounds. First round is taken by someone who can be another GD from anywhere around the world. So he will be a part of the community. So it's a community interview. And the second one is a product interview, where someone from that particular technology, let's say if you are applying for Angular, then someone from the Angular team will take that interview. Or let's say if you are applying for Flutter, then someone from the Flutter team, or for Android, then Android team. So that's how it works. And then when you finish all of these things, then only you become a GD. And if you don't know about it or want to know more about it, then I'll also put the link in the description after this session, so you can check it out there. And also, Santosh has various blogs, so I'll post the links in the description as well once Santosh shares with me, so you can definitely check them out as well. And so now I'll ask about schedule of Santosh, and then we will have a short rapid fire. But before that, we'll take a short break. Maybe I can also drink some water. So we'll be back in next 40-50 minutes or 50 seconds, not minutes. Sorry. So yeah, Let's come back in a moment. 1 second. ये स्टैक ओवरफ्लो भरी जिंदगी चेपना मना है, इसलिए मेरा भरोसा एमटेक वायरल। आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें और आप देख सकते हैं बहुत सारे ट्यूटोरियल्स और सीख सकते हैं और बना सकते हैं अपना प्रोजेक्ट। सो सब्सक्राइब नाउ। क्या आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है? इस बात से मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, पर क्या आपके रिज्यूमे में प्रोजेक्ट है? अगर नहीं तो आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें एमटेक वायरल। यहाँ पर आप बहुत सारे कोडिंग ट्यूटोरियल्स देख सकते हैं, काफ़ी सारे ऐप्स के ट्यूटोरियल देख सकते हैं और आप अपना बना सकते हैं प्रोजेक्ट। तो सब्सक्राइब नाउ। ये स्टैक ओवरफ्लो भरी जिंदगी चेपना मना है, इसलिए मेरा भरोसा एमटेक वायरल। आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें और आप देख सकते हैं बहुत सारे ट्यूटोरियल्स और सीख सकते हैं और बना सकते हैं अपना प्रोजेक्ट। सो सब्सक्राइब नाउ। Okay, so we are back again after self promotion, and I hope you enjoyed. Okay, so now we will proceed with the rapid fire. But before that, Santosh, can you tell us about your schedule? Like, I have been struggling a lot with my schedule as well. So tell us more about your schedule as well, like how it's been and how
अरे
this 20.
दूर है वो तो।
I mean, when I remember when I started contributing to this OSS, I mean,
Yeah,
you should always keep in mind that you already have a full-time job, so don't actually
yeah,
donate or give your work time towards OSS. So always
hmm,
do it in your free time. So earlier in 2019, I used to do it like I had
hmm,
my office from 9:30 to 6:30, and then I used to do it in night. So I used to work from
yeah,
11 to 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. But in 2020, I think I started working from home. So that was the one advantage which I got, that I started working remote. So I work from home, and I get a lot of time now. So whenever I want to, so I can adjust my time according to that. So now I do mostly my work, office work
hmm,
from 9:30 to 6:30, and I now do less OSS, to be frank, because I have started a lot of initiatives apart from that. So my OSS work is on weekends.
hmm,
So I donate few hours in weekends doing OSS stuff. Otherwise, on every Friday I do live stream. I started something called Tech Talks with Santosh this
yeah,
year, 2020, and I interview people from different technology, and we'll discuss about it for like 45 minutes live stream. And apart from that, whenever I get some good topic to write about, I generally don't write frequently. So it's not like you will find my blogs every month or every week. So I generally look for a topic, or whenever there is an Angular release.
hmm.
So if there is an Angular release, there will be a blog post from my side. So that's how I manage my time right now.
So for me, I think it's been quite opposite. Like when I was working before Corona happened, then it was very well on schedule. Everything was in schedule, like properly managed and everything. But after Corona, I think initially everything was good, but now I think everything is messed up. Although I am a very good with the time management, but still I think the cycle has changed. The sleeping cycle was different before, but now the sleeping
Uh,
cycle has changed.
oh.
But yeah, anyway, guys, like okay, I think people liked the advertisement as well, so I'll urge you to like the video, give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this conversation so far, and if you enjoyed the advertisement as well. I'll push more advertisement. I had just two, so I couldn't do much. By the way, we'll be back in just few seconds with the rapid fire. So in the meantime, I'll just play one video. So okay, Santosh, so I am ready with some questions where
Yeah.
basically this will be more like rapid fire, okay? Like
Yeah.
where I'll give you two options and you have to quickly pick one, whatever comes to your mind, which means technically that will be from heart and not from mind.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay, so I will start. So the first one, family or work? What do you
Of course,
prefer?
family. Family.
Awesome. Awesome. React or Angular?
Anytime Angular.
JavaScript or TypeScript?
TypeScript.
Java or C Sharp?
C Sharp. I hate Java. Sorry. I said it online.
Okay, no, it's fine. Whoever is watching, I don't care. Working in day or night?
Day, I would say. I stopped working on night.
Awesome. Remote job or non-remote job?
Remote job always.
Okay. Okay. Once country where you want to visit.
I want to actually. I would say two, not
Okay.
one, but it's
Okay.
in Europe. It's in Europe, so I want to visit Germany and
Uh,
again Denmark. And the
hmm.
purpose is I want to meet all those amazing people. I have really great friends, Lars and
Yeah.
Serkan. So
Yeah. A lot of plans has been ruined by Corona, by the way. I had so many plans this year as well, but
I know.
I can understand. Okay. One like if you'll have two choices, one would be a passionate job where you are not getting that much salary, but there is one which is non-passionate, but you are getting so much salary. Which will you will pick?
Not both. I will wait for opportunity where I'm getting both good salary as well as the work I love.
That's a nice answer. I can accept that as well. Vegetarian or non-vegetarian? What do you prefer?
Uh, I'm kind of mixed, so I eat egg and
What
fish.
is mixed? It means that means non-vegetarian, na? What is mixed? Okay. What do you prefer? Is school, offline school or online classes? What's your take?
I think offline school is good for kids because they actually grow in an environment where they can meet a lot of people. But
Hmm.
if I have to talk about colleges, I think those should be online. They are waste of time.
Yeah. True, true. More money or more peace?
I would say earlier in my life it was more money. Now it's more peace.
Okay, that's it. Rapid fire is over. And by the way, guys, so I have thought about one new thing, which is as I mentioned in the beginning of this particular episode, that if you want to join right now, then I'm gonna share you a link. In the meantime, I'll ask one more question from Santosh, and then you can join live. And there is a limit, by the way. So if you are not able to join by for any reason, then don't feel bad. We'll give this opportunity next time as well. So I'm sharing this link. I have not tried it any time before, but just don't spam. That's what I can say. And if let's see if someone joins. In the meantime, Santosh, uh, whatever you want to share about your projects, then you can share. What like it can be your past projects, current project, or something which you are planning for for future.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to my GitHub profile. So Santosh Yadav Dev. I'll share it in private chat. You probably
Hmm.
can share. So I have a few bunch of open source projects which I'm working on. It's NGX builders.
I can
Uh,
share your screen if you want to share.
sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we have. Okay, I got your links. And by the way, guys, the link which I have shared, by that you can join us live right now. Or if you have any questions, then after like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we will take your questions as well in just 5 minutes. In the meantime, Santosh is sharing his screen. So let's see. Okay, we have
Yeah,
the screen.
so this is the GitHub profile where you can actually find few open source projects which I have. NGX Builders is one where which I started last year,
Hmm.
and I have few open source projects which I'm working on right now. So NGX Bulma, it's a UI component library which
Hmm.
I mean, of course I don't get much time, but we are actually slowly we are adding it. Right, you cannot build anything in a single day, so that's what approach we are taking.
Yeah.
And apart from that, we already have Netlify Builder, which is used by a lot of developers. I think more than
Hmm.
250 repositories already using it, and it
Hmm.
has more than 700 weekly downloads as well. And
Hmm.
Source Map Analyzer is again one of the open source projects which is used widely as a tool
Yeah.
to analyze the Angular code base or Angular
Hmm.
bundle size.
Hmm.
These are projects, and I have recently joined another amazing team with Lars and
Yeah.
Nacho. So where we are working on ng worker. It's
Hmm.
It's library called Lumberjack. So I'm demoting.
Nice, nice.
I'm actually giving some time here uh, on
Awesome.
Lumberjack.
Hmm. Okay, so we will provide the links in the description. By the way, Santosh, some people have joined us, and
Yeah.
I'll take them all together. And in the meantime, if you could not join, or if you want to join, then you can anyway join as well. I would like you to ask your question in the comments itself. And I'm gonna take Abhinav first, and then Abhinav, you have just two questions which you can ask because of the time limit. So I'm sorry. And then we will move to Adityan. And then there is another Santosh Kumar Patro, if I'm not pronouncing it wrong. So here we have Abhinav. Abhinav, you are on the screen. So yes, you can ask whatever you want.
Okay, so I didn't want to ask anything actually, but I would like to thank you and Santosh for the initiative that you have taken, and I
Thank you.
really appreciate that. Apart from that, yeah, there's nothing much I have in my mind to ask, but yeah, that's a great
Thank you,
initiative.
Abhinav. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll take the another guy, Adityan. Hi, Adityan, you are on the
Hello.
screen now, so
Yeah,
you can
Adityan.
ask
hello.
whatever you
Actually,
want.
yeah, I'm learning Flutter right now. All right.
Okay. Hmm.
Like, I'm doing some projects and I'm following a course and I'm reading the documentation and all. But then
Hmm.
I'm having side thoughts whether Flutter will be useful in the future. Like, right now, there aren't that many applications built on Flutter, right?
Yeah.
So, will it increase or is it worth learning and putting the time into it?
I would say definitely. See, every technology has a particular space in the industry. It's not like something is coming to replace anything else, right? And everything
Yeah,
has its certain demand in the market. So even if you'll ask Santosh about Angular, then he will probably give you the same answer. Let's say some people might be asking him every day that whether we should do React, whether we should do Vue, whether you should go for Angular. So the industry is like that, that everyone is trying to create something better out of something. And everything has some benefits, okay, pros and cons. So and
yeah,
and see, I will give you a short answer to this question, is that let's say Flutter has only 6 jobs in the market, okay. Then
okay.
also, why you cannot be one of those 6 people who will join the company? Because that then your demand will be much higher, and you can
Yeah,
even charge as much money
yeah.
as you want, because you are one of those 6 people. So anyway,
Six
like
people.
that's just I'm just kidding. There are a lot of jobs for Flutter as of now as well. So my suggestion will be that definitely when you love something, you can definitely
Yeah,
see,
actually, I
see
really
a
like
future
learning
in that.
Flutter.
Yeah, and one more thing is that, see, don't learn anything just for the sake of that you are very much stick to that framework or something.
Huh.
Learn concepts, okay, that see, everything is almost same, right? Every programming language you will pick, the idea is
Yeah.
almost same. The syntax might be different, but the basics is always the same, right? So our intention should be to learn the concepts, not a framework, right? Framework can help us, but technology is like moving very rapidly, so there will be a lot
Yeah,
of
so
new
it's
things coming and
fundamental.
going. Yeah, so don't
All right.
worry, that's what I'll say. And whatever you like, give it some time. If nothing will work out, then obviously you will find another way, so don't worry about that as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Arun.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you.
Thank you,
We
Santosh
will.
and Ram Kumar.
Okay, we will move to Santosh Kumar Petro. You are live, so you can ask
Yeah,
your
hi
question.
Pawan sir. Hi Santosh sir.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Sir, I have a doubt that how should we get started to freelancing? Like how we can get clients easily? Uh,
Santosh.
yeah.
I think it's not easy. As you said, easily, you mentioned a word. It's not easy, that much easy because.
Basically, I'm a student, so I'm in
Uh-huh,
second year. So I'm searching
uh-huh.
because I'm quite familiar with right now Angular and Node.js.
Mhm.
So I was searching how can I get some freelance clients.
So there are a lot of platforms which are available. Of course, you can go ahead and look for some clients over there. But I think the most important thing is you have to build your portfolio first. So concentrate on that. If you have a really good portfolio, I don't think so you have to search for a job. To be frank, I mean, I just ask if I want a work. That's it. That's what I do. So if you're really good into something and you have a good presence, you have a good portfolio, I think people would love to work with you, because the industry does not have many great developers. There are good developers and average developers, but there is a difference, right? Having good, average, and bad. So I think industry needs a lot of great developers, and if you are one of them, you will not face any issue finding a new client.
Okay.
Hmm.
Sir, what are like some of your favorite projects you have built? Can I know?
I mean, so Netlify, this Netlify builder which I built was one of my first open source projects, and I think I did it for my own use and ended up being open source, more than 22K downloads, and already used weekly, like more than 250 repositories. So I think that is my still one of the a good project which I built, I
Yeah.
think. So.
Right, sir. Fine, sir. Basically, sir, I started with React, then I moved on to Django. Again, I came back to React. Now I'm loving Angular. So
Uh,
basically, I've tried a lot of frameworks, but currently I find Angular more like addictive. It's getting like it's difficult to get started, but once you love it, you are going to love it for all.
yeah,
Thanks,
actually.
Pavan sir, giving us a chance. I never came
No
to any
problem.
YouTube live stream. This was my first. Thanks a lot. Yeah,
Thank you for
Thank you,
joining. Like
joining.
yeah,
that's why we thought like we should give some time to all these
yeah,
people.
yeah,
Anyway, we have one more guy waiting,
yeah.
Yash.
Bye, sir.
So Santosh, thank you,
Yeah, bye, sir.
and yeah, bye bye. We will take one more guy, Yash. Yash, you are here. If you
Yes, yes,
yes
yes,
yes.
yes, I can hear you. Okay. Yeah, hi. Hi,
Hello.
Pavanji and Santosh. Yeah, I'm working as a software engineer in Kumau.
Hmm.
So I'm a API and microservice developer. And you have said about the Angular part. So yeah, it's cool
Mhm.
and it's booming. But I have a question like, do we have scope? Like we all are applying for Google, and do we have scope for the Google, like for the 2 or 3 experience of anything for microservice developer? Like,
Pawan, you want to answer that?
I don't know actually because it's a
yeah,
specific thing, but I think see on Google, as far as I know, they mostly hire you on the basis of what your problem solving skills rather than a
yeah,
particular
perfect. Mhm.
what domain knowledge. So if you really want to go to Google, okay, I'll give you a very honest opinion. Start preparing for like problem solving things like prepare data structure algorithms, make them better, and
Yeah,
go with different platforms like lead code and all, and solve problems there as well. And once you get that kind of
hmm,
confident that I can solve problems, I know about algorithms, I know how graphs and trees works, then you can apply for any of the fang company, right? Either it can be Facebook, Google, Amazon, and I think that's what they prefer. I don't know. And if you will go to careers.google.com or any of their job portal, then you will find specific jobs there. So if that's what you are looking for, then I think that will be the best
yeah,
way to.
perfect. Because as of now, I'm working like I can see microservice is also booming in market, like Spring Boot, we can say.
Hmm.
Like, and I'm working in Java only. So
No,
yeah.
we are not against Java. we, we
Yeah,
have
but you
started
know,
our career with
Angular
Java
and
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, even I have started just now my career, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Also, second question is like I have a younger brother, and he is
Hmm.
now in first year. Now he'll be in first year. So I'm
Hmm.
looking for an internship. Like, do you recommend some internship in technical? Like, I'm saying him to learn the basic first, like C++. It's mother of all language.
Hmm.
So do you recommend any something for the internship, the big companies? And now he's
Hmm.
practicing GitHub also for open source.
Hmm. I think
Yeah,
what you can ask him is that I don't know about see how many people are actually recruiting for internship and all, but you can like there are so many portals and all, but the main focus should be on learning. Okay, ask him to learn any one language, whatever he likes, and then focus on creating some projects out of it. Maybe create a portfolio for make by making different projects. It can be very small project, it doesn't matter, as long as you know what you are doing, right? It's all good. And the basics is what is important, I personally feel. So all the best, that's what I can say. And there are a lot of opportunities, so it's not like few people say that there are so many jobs in outside India, but in India there are so less jobs. It's not actually true. There is job everywhere, but you should be the right
Yes,
one.
perfect. Yeah,
Like people are looking for you and you are looking
yeah.
for jobs. So
But
once
yeah,
there is a mutual
ultimately everyone
connection,
should be positive.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yes,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you for
Yeah, thank
joining.
you so much.
And Santosh, we will take one last question, and that is from who's this question? Darshan. And his question: why do Angular have so many haters? Is it like that? I don't
I
know.
think every technology has some haters. So
Yeah,
the thing is, I mean, I've seen some developers. I will not name them, but they do it for on purpose.
yeah,
Because let's say if you are running from React, right? Why you will say that Angular is good, or if you
yeah.
are running from Angular, why you will say that React is good. So my
Correct.
thing is always go ahead and try whatever you like. So as I think earlier, right? So we had
Hmm.
someone who said he tried React and then he went to work with Angular and he liked Angular. So that's
Yeah,
how it should be. It should not be
correct.
like you don't know even a thing about Angular, but you have worked on React, so Angular is bad.
Yeah,
So
correct.
it's not like
And
that.
it also depends on the nature of your project or your team, or
Yeah.
what kind of expectations you have. Because personally, like I have tried Django as well, I have tried React as well, Vue, Angular, everything, and I never disliked anything, to be honest. Like I
Actually,
felt that everything has certain advantages or disadvantages. That's what I'll say.
yeah.
Okay, before we end this stream, I think Rishit wants to have some questions, so let him join as well. The last one, probably. This is the last, guys. Please don't join anymore, because we both have some other work as well, and we
Yeah.
have to leave. Hi, Rishit. How are you?
Hey,
Hi,
Rishit,
Pawan
hi.
sir.
Hello,
Hi,
hello.
Santosh sir.
Yeah,
I'm a
hi.
huge fan of both of you, and I have personally loved
Thank
open
you.
source and tried to contribute to open source. But I also wanted to know how I could essentially take contributing to open source a little bit more, since you mentioned you were the second contributor on the Angular list at ngconf. So I personally haven't tried Angular much. I'm more of a machine learning guy, but I have tried to contribute to open source a lot and would love to take it forward. So, any tips for doing that?
Santosh.
I think it doesn't matter, right, to which repository you are contributing to.
Yeah,
So a lot of people, actually, a lot of developers to ask me how I want to contribute to a big repository like Angular. Why? The answer is, I mean, of course, why? Do you know, or are you good into Angular? If you're not, just go ahead and choose something which you're good into, right? Every big project, let it be Node.js or let it be Vue.js, React, they also need contributor. If you're really good into that, keep contributing to some project there, right? If you're really good into machine learning, I'm sure machine learning has a lot of open source projects. I keep seeing, I know I follow you already on LinkedIn, so I know you are already doing some great amazing work. So why not to actually put something and start your own open source projects? So
Yep.
that's something which you can do, right? So rather than being a contributor, why not to be a maintainer? A lot of actually open source project requires maintainers as well. You can just go to some open source project which is not being updated from more many days, right? Because every maintainer has its own time schedule and they are not able to give much time. So you can become our maintainer as well. Why only to be contributor?
Yep. And there are, I think, so many MLGDs now in India as well. So you can, I think,
Yeah,
reach out to any of them, and you can ask them, what repositories are there where I can contribute. So maybe they can also give you some suggestions on it.
yeah,
So I'll try to bring someone else from ML as well in this series. So that's the intention as well. So yeah, because I know a lot of people have so many questions about ML, AI, and all these things. So definitely I'll do that.
thank you. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'll try to continue contributing and also take a look at maintaining a couple of projects.
Yeah, I think you have been doing a lot of things already.
yeah,
I think we have given some talks as well. Like Rishit, I know for some time now, and he has been giving talks. And by the way, I didn't know that he's in 10th standard when he was giving talk. Right? You were in 10th standard already, right? When
Yeah.
you started giving talks. So yeah, wonderful. And I would love to have you, Rishit, as well, because I think you have also mentioned that you want to be a part of this show. So we already have you now, but I'll have a separate like episode on you as well. So thanks, Rishit, for joining, and thanks, Santosh. We will take more questions in the next episode. But for today, we are almost done. And Santosh, really thank you. Your journey is so inspiring, and I hope like a lot of people, learn something from you or get inspired from what you have been through. And I think we would love to have you another time as well. So thanks for joining.
Thank you, Pavan. Thanks for actually inviting me here.
Yeah, pleasure. So that's it, guys, for today. And I think, yes, before I go, I would just want to tell you that tomorrow there will be another stream. And tomorrow's episode is a special one because it's a women special episode. And we will have two amazing women's. They are not exactly developers, but they are developers in their fields. And once you will hear their story, you will get a lot of inspiration, that's I'm sure about. And if you enjoyed this stream, if you enjoyed this idea of life of dev, then press the like button right now. There can be many haters, but I know there are so many lovers as well. So press the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are not the subscriber already. And thanks for liking the advertisement. We will end this particular episode with advertisement. So I think, yeah, good night, bye bye, and I'll see you tomorrow. So yes, bye bye, take care. क्या आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है? इस बात से मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, पर क्या आपके रिज्यूमे में प्रोजेक्ट है? अगर नहीं तो आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें एमटेक वायरल। यहाँ पर आप बहुत सारे कोडिंग ट्यूटोरियल्स देख सकते हैं, काफी सारे ऐप्स के ट्यूटोरियल देख सकते हैं, और आप अपना बना सकते हैं प्रोजेक्ट। तो सब्सक्राइब नाउ।